What's up? Good morning. Happy Friday.
Yeah,
welcome to Relevant Rants. I think this is part 2 this week, but we did Relevant Rants with Mike Boudreaux last night. If you didn't catch that,
check that out.
And so you don't think we're out of touch today, and we might even mention it today. Who knows? But we did cover on our live stream last night. We talked about the Trump conviction and all of those things, and from the viewpoint of someone that I think we could rightly consider a legal expert, and I think a political expert, Tom.
Well, you know, Mike Boudreaux, we announced something last night.
We did.
Because we're doing a podcast with Mike called 6 Point Gold Star.
We're going to have a lot of great guests on there.
Yeah. So Mike Boudreaux is running for a congressional seat and doing very well.
Is it SB 20?
Yeah, I know.
He corrected us last night on that. But anyway, it's Kevin's seat.
But we talked about the crooked conviction of Donald Trump last night.
I think crooked is the understatement of the century.
Well, it's going to unravel. We all know that, and they know that.
I'm waiting for Larry to pop in on this one.
You know, Mike, just what are we talking about? No, let's don't. Let's get into the show. So we're going to come in with you, and we're going to talk about Covenant Coffee, because we can't tell you enough about our support and their support of us for Covenant Coffee. Randy Martin has 2 locations in Bakersfield, one on North Chester, the other on East California.
Not East California, California Mohawk.
Hey, those Easts are going to leave my life, aren't they?
Well, I mean, you're going to be further east.
Yeah. Yesterday was my last day at the church I was at for 31 years.
Well, you were employed for 31 years. Yeah. You were there for longer.
Yeah. So, full-time here with 511 and Mike, and just so excited about that. But Randy Martin has a great vision for Covenant Coffee.
He does.
There's hope in a cup, and that hope means everything that's in this cup helps and goes towards foster kids that are emancipated for the system. But that means they were in the system. And so what he does is he employs them, teaches them life skills, and then gets them ready and provides housing for them as they go out into the world and they apply what they're learning over at Covenant Coffee. Covenant Ministries is behind them. So if you can, go out there and support that. And you're contributing to a disenfranchised people group.
I made no comments about Covenant this time. You got mad at me last night.
What did I get mad at you for? I didn't sleep a lot because my daughter got stuck in Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Poor thing, sleeping on the floor.
Sorry to hear that, Taylor.
Yeah, Tay. But what did we get mad at you about last night?
Because I piped in on the Covenant with Randy.
Oh,
you're like, well, you just take it over.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you let me do it today.
I let you do it today.
So hey, like and subscribe, because our numbers are going up.
They are.
And if we're out there, we're getting ready to put a lot of our content that we're creating that's new behind our subscription. So that's going to be coming out next week.
Yeah, we're gonna be. No, he says subscription. It's going to be free, but we're going to start pumping out even more premium content for all of.
Did
you
I
guys.
say something wrong?
Well, no, you didn't say anything wrong, but I wanted to clarify, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, subscription was going to be paid." No, we're putting it out for free, but we're going to have a members section. Yeah,
so we'll be able to do that. So going out and watch the shows last night with the California Sheriff and
President of the California Sheriff's Association.
So we're going to have a lot of good things going on there. We're bringing in Pierre Wilson with Blexit. So we're going to get in our show today. And you guys, if you've been out there watching us, we're going to start off, and I hope to, spur Mike's thought process. Which
you're having a hard time getting the words out today after no sleep last night.
Yeah, but we're priming the pump. And I got a scripture I want to read before we do this one.
Oh, Mike. I love this.
And and I tried to hopefully tie things
right there
with scripture. So, Mike, could you read it, because I can't
For
see
his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world. I'm having a hard time seeing the rest of it.
Creation of the world.
When the things that have been made, so
they are without excuse. So that's basically words saying.
And that's Romans 1:20.
Yeah, that's basically saying that we can look around and see God's creation, and we will not have an excuse on the lessons that we're seeing God's creation. So I think this is going to hopefully relate in a canine fashion, but it's a message that this canine dog, which is a mother, to her puppies. So let's go and
there's
play
a word for that.
Yeah, let's play this and see if you get it, Mike.
All right. Mom interested in all species. One more time. Yeah, that sounds like Ladavia this morning.
That's what I'm saying. So you can look at this mother.
She's gonna kick my butt.
Well, this dog is communicating to her puppies, and it sounded like one was barking back, right?
A little bit, yeah. And so we have one that does that.
I do too.
We have 3 that do that.
And so mothers, your language is very important. You don't have to go do anything, but as you start raising up your children, they should respect you.
They should. I teach my kids. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely. And Mike was giving me a nice comment this morning because my daughter last night, who was stuck in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and we got to pray for the Dallas-Fort Worth because a lot of people lost power last night. But she was supposed to be home, and she never made it home. So she's staying with a friend in Dallas-Fort Worth and trying to get out again tonight.
This morning.
Yeah, well, tonight. Yeah, 9
tonight.
9
okay,
p.m.
you
tonight.
said 9. I thought a.m. But
9 p.m. tonight.
At least she'll get some sleep.
Yeah, but she was calling mom and dad, and so we were there to help her kind of work through it. And she even got to a point where she asked me to go pick her up in Fresno, which is 2 hours away, and I go, absolutely,
without hesitation.
So what I'm trying to show you here is that there's just an idea that there's a commonality that runs with mothers' authorities, with fathers' authorities, and we're going to be getting into some comments here. So that was just something out there. I just tied it in with the Bible, but you got it.
I got it.
Yeah, those puppies ran back into the hole. Right?
They did.
I don't know what she said in dog language, but they got it, right?
Yes.
So let's go up, Mike. I want to talk a little bit about something that's happening in California. We always talk about our great state. What's coming?
You know what? We do have a great state, but we have a very messed up
leader.
Comrade
Newsom is really trying to devastate our.
I don't think he's trying. I think he's already succeeded.
I think he's accomplished it. So let's go and bring up the next slide. Will Californians get any relief on gas prices? Mike, I don't think so. And so let's bring up the next one. The state's average price at the pump is up 55 cents from a year ago. Mike, how in the heck does anybody expect to pay just for gas? And when anybody wants to know why Bidenomics or Newsomonomics aren't working, is you're paying $50 more for gas, and the summer blend hasn't even kicked in because the summer blend is more expensive. And
well, I have noticed, Tom, recently, to play a little bit of devil's advocate. You know that I don't usually do that, but sometimes I do. Gas prices in the past month or two have kind of gone down a little bit.
Well, let's hold that thought. Don't get too excited. So let's bring up the next screen.
I was going to say something.
So look what the gas prices were in Menlo Park.
Wherever that is.
Well, Menlo Park is in a very exclusive area. And so those people aren't making minimum wage. But I just thought, hey, let's pull up the prices around. So they could have paid $7.30 for the gallon of gas, but one right down the street was $5.60, $5.40, $5.96. So $5.60. So the gas prices are up.
Well, I don't know that I would agree that they're up.
They came down?
I can say that they've come down in the past couple months. I've noticed.
So you're agreeing with Bidenomics?
No, I'm not. What I am going to say is I think I've heard, and you might already have a point to make about this. Is the Newsom has every intention of adding additional taxes onto that. So he's just making room for more money to go in his pockets.
Well, he's got a board now that allegedly is going to work on the tax increases because
they want more.
Well, taxation without representation
is theft.
Well, it's one of the things the English law was based on that, and the Constitution came out of that. So we've got a political system that says you can't do that without representation and legislation. But guess what? We have in California, we have a one-system democracy.
One-party system.
Yeah, one system.
Not a democracy, a dictatorship.
Well, they do bring up things and vote on things, but they're all as blue as you can get.
Well, I think we had a long conversation with Mike Boudreaux last night about how corrupt all of that is.
We did. So if you just want to put one thing out there, why the GDP goes up, gas prices affect everything, Mike.
Yeah.
What don't they affect? I mean, you and I are talking about vehicles because we're going to be moving to a state that doesn't require the emissions, the emissions control that California does. So if you're not familiar with it, there's catalytic converters and this emission system that is supposedly supposed to help with the emissions. But come on, what a joke that is, Mike, because all the experts are saying it doesn't work to reduce the emissions by any substantial amount. And there again, but they've got to say what they're trying to reduce in one area, they're raising up in the other, the generation of the lithium batteries.
Oh, geez.
You know, I mean, so don't fall down that one. I mean, Larry, if you're out there, you can talk to us all day long about that. But we're moving to a state that doesn't have that. But Newsom's got a solution. He's running everybody out of the state of California to solve that. So they'll just be the animals, wildlife, and
homeless people and illegals.
Yeah, and just there. So what do we have up next there? I can't see the screen. Nearly 40% of Christians prefer to not tell people about their faith.
Really,
Mike? And I like this because our friend Chris Chow, who's CEO of the Christian Post, is in Dallas, Fort Worth today.
Is he?
Yeah, and I was concerned about him, so I was praying for him this morning because we've got a big conference going on there.
Okay.
But I love the Christian Post because they'll bring out these obscure news facts, and they're blessing me every day. Have I told you? I saw text Chris, and they go, man, Christian Post is blessing me every day. Think about going out and subscribing. It's the nation's largest Christian news network. I think that's the statistic. So 40%, Mike, it's not hard for me to share my faith because I just share my story.
Tom, it's hard for me to not share my faith.
So yesterday, my place of employment had a going away party, which I was against until my daughter said, "Dad, don't be a jerk. Let them, let them, and I had a great time. Thank you, Steve Tedder. And the guys at church, they did a nice thing for me last Sunday. It was my last Sunday at church, but I really appreciated that. But as I was telling them yesterday in the staff when we were talking about going, I'm being called out.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. I'm being called out to come with you, Mike, and partner in what we've created in 511 Media, and go out and raise up other people's voices like Mike Boudreaux, Pierre Wilson, Blake Bernard, Scott Garcia.
It's crazy the doors that God's
Adrian
Monhay,
Steve Southers, Eric Frapwell, you and I, Boomer. There again, we've given a platform to magnify other people's voices that you guys need to listen to, because they're speaking some truths into lives out there. But my story, just about how I get through every day, is my testimony. I have no problem sharing my faith.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Tom, I have a problem not sharing it. And I wouldn't say necessarily like a problem, like I have a problem with it. Like that's just who I am. And it just is. So in every conversation, it just comes out, like I can't help it.
I think the Bible will let us know, because we even see it in Acts when they told, I believe it was Peter and Silas to quit talking about this Jesus. And they said, how can we? We've seen too much.
Yeah.
And we've heard too much. And if you've been out there and you're living this amazing life that Christ died for us on the cross to have, which is an abundant life, how can you not share your faith?
But I will say that, that 40% it's a minority. It's not a huge minority. Like it's 40% is a pretty significant minority, but it's still not, it's a minority.
Well, I just think that it's something that comes out natural. And I do believe that
if you really are truly living and walking your faith, like that's exactly it, right?
And I do believe, Mike, that we're living in a day and age where people are trying to push Christians back in the corner again.
Yeah, but Christians aren't having it.
No,
I think at least the people that I'm around, the people you're around, like we're like, nah.
After yesterday.
Oh yeah.
There it is. So
the shackles are off. So the gloves are off.
So I got a news. So this trended and make news yesterday. So you might have seen this, but I want to show it and Mike and I want to rant about it. So this happened in DC, and take a look. No, not that one. The next one. There you go.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
He's zooming in.
Jeez.
This judge is not having it.
There's not very much intelligence here, is there?
You stationary?
What a
I'm pulling
patriot.
in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
In court.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
So maybe I don't understand something.
I don't either.
This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and
Like,
he didn't have a license.
He
gets it.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended, and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What an epiphany. What a truth bomb. Mic drop.
I don't even know why he would do that.
I don't either.
So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
It just
was he just
in.
trying? Was he trying to go to jail? I don't understand.
Hey, that's brought by CBS, the communist broadcast station.
So my question is, like, was he trying to go to jail? Because, like, I don't care if I'm like that. This was obviously probably during COVID, and because they have to deal with it over Zoom, right? But it
just started trending, so I didn't
care. I don't care if I'm going to court virtually for a traffic thing or whatever. If I'm going to court, I'm not going to be driving while I'm it's like, I could care less. I'm just going to, like, whatever.
Could it be, Mike?
You don't think he was going to the doctor? The doctors reschedule all the time.
I just can't believe that the non-awareness,
right?
Because you want to be aware, and that's a very important thing driving, but he was not aware at all. I mean, zooming.
Well, not only that, he's like, it's not even legal to be on the phone while you're driving anyway, let alone talking to a judge and about driving with a suspended license. Your license is suspended. You're talking to a judge, and you like.
Does the stupidity get any more than that?
No. I mean, it's not even legal to do that in the first sticking place.
Can I ask a question, Mike?
Huh.
So both were African American. If the judge would have been white, would it be a bigger deal?
Yeah, it would have been like racist, right?
Because there'd have been no empathy. And I'm only bringing that up because it's a big deal nowadays, because we're all told that, if we don't have that empathy, we're racist.
I think it's because you're a WASP.
I was called that, even though my daughter's last name is Jimenez. I can't understand that one either. So we're gonna bring up not that one, Gabe, but that one right there, because this is something that hits home. And we know that society. We know that one of the Marxist methods of degrading or downgrading a society is to come after the man. Whereas as we know the presence of a man in a home, and so does some of the legalities around the systems that are set up when they don't allow a man in the home. They get, basically people are told, you can't have a man in the home, otherwise you won't get assistance. But here is a guy.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And he's a PhD. He's talking about men, and men are wired differently than women. Your wife will attest to that, and so will my wife. But we're wired with a purpose. Let's go listen to this, and we'll come back in.
Work, men need a family, and men need some sort of higher purpose and some sort of faith practice that grounds them. And if we look over the last 25 to 50 years, we've just pulled all three of those strings. And so men are completely untethered. Man, if you take away faith, then what's the larger thing I'm a part of? Oh, politics. That's what it is now. And if you take away family, what am I a part of now? I think it was 3-1 men die of opioid, and opiates are the chemical that pretends to be the love chemical in the human body, right? And then the purpose, we don't talk about technology, is just taking jobs, man. So you got guys who aren't working. What are they going to do? They're going to go hate. They're going to fight because that's where they've got a purpose, right? And so I can't think of a more important thing to do than to figure out, okay, then how do we educate you? How do we teach you some job skills where you can go work? How do you learn a work ethic, right? How do you go learn these things instead of just opting out of the game completely?
You know, Mike, and I agree with him 100%, because I've dealt with men for 40 years in the ministry, led men's ministry for, all the time. So if you're out there and you're a man and you resonate with this, I would say get plugged into some type of a small group of men, and you would want a leader of that group. And I'm not saying it has to be, something that, that you've got to go out and make it something of a faith base right away. Because we have a lot of people that we know that are doing military. We got a lot of veterans that are doing great groups, recovery groups. But if you add faith in, you've got a higher success rate, because that's another quality that they're pulling out. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
And then men need purpose, and I think that purpose can be found in what you do. Mike, I mean, there again, as I'm going into my 4th career, I've found purpose in each one of my careers. First 2, a self-serving. These last 2 was serving what I believe Christ is calling me to do. So you have to get that purpose and then let it fuel your passion.
Well, I would definitely say that, as a business owner for close to 20 years,
at least that, Mike.
Yeah. I have, and I grew up in family business and everything else. I did for a long time that career that was just about making money, and you've done the career that was just about making money. And both of us did well in those respective careers about making money. But there's always that hole of like, there's got to be something more. Like, I feel unfulfilled because we're making great money, but at the end of the day, if that's all it's about, it's like completely futile and pointless. Even the Bible says that, right?
I shared this last Sunday on stage. That from the outside looking in my first profession, which was me as a professional bodybuilder, it was all about looks, and I made money about the way I looked, and I did great in that. 10 years in that, I went into the computer revolution, which I took that and made money because it was a growing trend in the late 80s or all through the 80s. So I wasn't like struggling from the outside, but on the inside, I was dying.
Yeah.
And without faith, I never would have turned around, because I knew Tommy was screwed up. I had a divorce and a marriage and a divorce. I had some things that were crumbling around me, but not a people knew about. But I just needed a way to get unscrewed up. And I say that, and I went and I found faith in Jesus Christ. And it was that thing that helped give me a higher purpose, which was serving Christ in ministry. But then it also gave everything else a more meaning too, Mike. So if you're out there, find a group to be plugged in with, and then you might start to think, and this is what Mike, and I think, if you look at 511 and what we're doing here, we are offering some educational things coming in the future.
Yeah,
here.
very
masterminds. One of the things that we do help people learn is how to do this.
Yeah.
And we do believe people will become the new platform in the next couple of decades. And so how many times do we hear this, even with professionals like Mike Boudreaux, Chip Moore, Jared Flemings, Pierre Wilson? These are all guys that are connected at a high level with their job, but they couldn't figure out this, which is making your voice louder on a new digital platform.
Well, Tom, this is taking a lot of work for us to figure out too.
It has, but as you can get involved with
what was
else.
the conversation we were having the other day? I can't remember even who it was with, but someone was talking about, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ones who succeed are the ones, because you always see everybody that they're an overnight success. Well, even, Dave Ramsey said, well, every overnight success was 10 years in the making, right? But you have to be willing to eat dirt for a long time to figure things out sometimes.
Well, and I think you have to have a submissive personality.
Yeah.
Because Mike, I mean, how many times do we just have to say we got it wrong?
Yeah.
I
got a lot of things wrong, but the willingness to get things wrong and pivot is what leads to success.
And for men to do that is a huge deal, because what is the worst thing to get men? Pride.
Yeah.
Pride, Bible says pride comes before the fall. Humility comes before exaltation. That means if you have humility, you can learn, and you're getting ready to be pushed up.
So I got a question then.
Okay.
Well, that's true, I guess. So, but the fall doesn't come in July, but Pride comes in June.
I got that. Yeah, again, Mike was bringing in a political joke there. So I want to start here because we're at the 25 minutes. Let's play the video, and we'll come back because we're going to end on a Trump triumph note.
Okay.
Advisor Amisha Cross. So Dasha, you were there last night. You heard it. You talked to the people who were in that crowd. How was his message received?
Well, this might sound a little counterintuitive, but I did talk to folks in that crowd who themselves were immigrants. A lot of folks from the Dominican Republic. A lot of people that I talked to were born and raised in the Bronx. For some of them, this was their first ever Trump event. And when you talk to immigrants that are going to these Trump rallies, they agree with his message on immigration. Their point is, look, I did it the right way. I came here legally. And especially those living in New York right now, the sentiment I heard from a lot of voters was, we have these immigrants right now that the city is taking care of in a way that I've never felt taken care of by this city. It was a large crowd and a diverse crowd. Yes, there were some people from Westchester, from New Jersey, but there were a lot of people there that were from the Bronx, Black and Latino voters that are sick of how much they're paying for gas and groceries, that are frustrated with the situation at the border, and that find President Biden's rhetoric when it comes to minority voters a little bit offensive. Take a listen.
Legal troubles. Does any of that worry you at all?
No, at all. I think he's going to be elected the president because everyone still wants him as the president. So to me, it doesn't matter.
Biden, minority, they have disrespected the people of the city of New York. This was the best city in the world. We're not the great apple anymore. We're not the big apple. We are the rotten apple.
Biden went on the Charlemagne the God show and said, you ain't black if you don't vote for him. I'm black because that's how I was born and what I am. And Trump is the man that can save this country, period.
So interesting to talk to those voters, Anna, and multiple people actually mentioned that Charlemagne the God interview. I did press back with some of those folks, mentioning some of Trump's rhetoric that's been seen as racist and bigoted. They said they don't have a problem with that. They view his actions over his words in terms of what they feel he can do for their community. Again, the economy, those pocketbook issues, over and over again, top of the list.
It's important to hear from those voters. I'm glad you were there to get those reactions. Amisha, Trump has...
Right.
Yeah, there again, I love it when the adversarial media or the fake news, which if you're listening to MSNBC, CBS, CNN, good luck with that one. But I love it when we got the 34 convictions on felony charges from Trump.
Made up charges that weren't even felonies that nobody understood what they even were. And
why didn't we start with your video today?
We did that last night.
Okay, we did that. So catch out our show last night. But there's a great promotional video, courtesy of the Democratic Party for
more or less. Yeah, they provided all of the content.
So if you're out there in New York, they said that Trump couldn't get a crowd. I don't think there was any room for people else to be in that crowd.
In New York.
I thought Trump did a great thing. So they said he couldn't travel so far because he had to be in trial every day.
Right.
And Biden even mocked him. Said he was free on Wednesdays. But did you? So I saw a. They try to hide this. I saw a Biden rally the other day. maybe 45 people tops. But they might have been social distancing. I didn't know about that. or they were asked not to come be super spreaders of COVID. I don't know. But Trump packs them in the Bronx, in New Jersey, and they
everywhere
said he won't. And so you're in a city where you have corrupt lawyers, judicial system, and the people still want him. Did they say that? MSNBC said that. They go, I tried to push back on that and gave some of Trump's downfalls, and they said they didn't care. Because Biden's just as guilty as corruption.
Just as?
And more,
I would say, let me correct you there, Tom. He's not just as guilty. Biden is guilty.
Well, absolutely.
Trump was convicted of being guilty by a kangaroo court, by a very politicized trial by district attorneys and judges
that
who ran on the platform of convicting Trump of, for pardon the pun, trumped up charges.
Yeah, basically they said vote for me and I'll get Trump. And there again, we could go down that rabbit hole. We already did that.
They've opened Pandora's box and they're in for a world of hurt.
So I guess Hunter Biden's trial starting today, and I hope they apply the same rules there.
Yeah, well, Hunter or Joe Biden's running his whole campaign's about keeping himself and his son out of jail
or in the closet.
Right.
So for some means, we're going to find out what happens with Trump.
It's already being appealed.
Yeah, it is. So hey, there again, have they started the Trump statement?
I went and looked, and there's a live stream that's supposed to start at some point, but it's for an hour. It hasn't started yet. So.
Well, I think they're still getting a lot of money to
they crashed that whole website, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, it was crazy the money that's been given.
Yeah.
For
50 million plus.
Yeah, for his defense, because there's a lot of people who want to see that. So, guys, there again, we got a bend on this show. We got a flavor.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Because and I think this is something that we want to make other people's voices loud. Because I'll tell you what, if you do nothing but listen in your own echo chamber, and if you notice, I listen to MSNBC, I listen to ABC, I listen to CNN because I use their quotes. What better than use your adversary's own words to prove our point, Mike? How many times do I usually come in with the
all the time, every week?
I'm willing to listen, but I'm not convinced easily, and they have not convinced me. So, Mike, why don't you send us out?
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys, I think we made a lot of points, but go check out what we talked about last night about Trump and about the trial. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. God bless.